everybody, I hope you guys are having a good day today. So in this video, we're going to talk about how you can find the total amount of money that you use to pay off a loan using the loans formula. So take a deep breath and let's make this math easy. All right, so in this problem, it says you want to buy a house and you can afford payments of $1,400 per month, and the bank is offering an interest rate of 5.8%, compounded monthly, and if you get a 30-year mortgage, how much will you pay in total by the time your house is paid off? So in this problem, we were given that our monthly payment is $1,400. We know our interest rate is 0.058, and we know K equals 12, and we know that T equals 30. And so if we want to find the total amount that we will pay by the time your house is paid off, we could use the loans formula to figure out P, but P isn't going to be the amount that we pay in total because P is just the amount that we borrowed, because P is the initial amount of the loan, but we're ultimately going to be paying more than that because we're not only paying back the loan, we're also paying interest. And so for this problem, we actually don't need the loans formula at all because the amount that we are going to pay in total is just going to be our payments times the number of payments we make. And if we make 12 payments per year for 30 years, you would just take that payment and multiply by 12 and multiply by 30. And when I multiply those numbers together, I get 504,000 even. And so that would be the amount that I would end up paying for my house in total. Now, the cost of my house when I buy it will be less than that. If we were to calculate out what P is, that would be a smaller number because this 504,000 includes all of the interest that I'm paying as well. As another example, let's say that we owe $45,000 on a car loan that has an interest rate of 4% compounded monthly, and the question is how much will you pay in total by the time your loan is paid off? So in this problem, we know that the loan amount, or P, is $45,000. We know that the interest rate is 4%, and we know that it's compounded monthly, so K equals 12. And the question is how much will we pay in total? Well, in order to figure out how much we pay in total, we need to know how much our monthly payments are. Because if we know what the monthly payment is, we can take the monthly payment and multiply by the number of months that we make that payment. And I just realized that this problem actually has a typo because we also need to know how many years you're going to work on paying off the car loan because that will make a difference. So let's say that time or the number of years equals 5 in this situation. And I apologize for that typo. So to calculate this out, we first of all need to figure out the deposit. So to find the deposit, we'll use the loans formula and we'll say 45,000 equals our deposit times 1 minus 1 plus the interest rate of 0.04 divided by 12 raised to a negative exponent of 5 times 12 because there's going to be 5 times 12 months that the interest is being compounded, and then divide that by 0.04 divided by 12. So let's go through and do our mini calculations. Negative 5 times 12 is negative 60, and 0.04 divided by 12 is going to be 0.00333333, and that number is also this fraction simplified, so I'll go ahead and add 1 to that. And if I raise that to an exponent of negative 60, I get this decimal, and I want to do 1 minus this, so I'm going to make the number negative and add 1 to it, because that's the same as doing 1 minus it. That gives me this decimal for the stuff inside of the big set of parentheses. And then I'm going to divide by that 0.00333333, etc. decimal. And that tells me that 45,000 equals D times 54.29906, etc. And to find out what D is, I'm going to divide both sides by this number. So I'll click the reciprocal button and multiply by 45,000 to do that. And that tells me that my monthly payment is going to be $828.74. Now, this is not the question that they asked. They asked, how much will you pay in total? So to find the total that I end up paying, I'm going to take my payment of $828 per month, and then I'm going to multiply this by the number of months. So if I pay it for 12 months for 5 years, I'm going to multiply by 12 and by 5. So I'll multiply by 12 and 5. And that ends up giving me a total of $49,724.61. And this is a reasonable number because the amount that I borrowed was $45,000. And it makes sense that I would pay about $4,000 to $5,000 extra dollars because of the interest that's being charged over these 5 years. So that's how you would solve a problem like this. So why don't you guys go ahead and try this one? And it looks like on this one we're also missing the years. So let's say that the number of years that you're using to pay off your student loans is 6. So go ahead and give this one a try and then restart the video to see how I would solve it. Okay, so in this one, the loan amount that we have at the beginning is $20,000, so that's going to be P. The interest rate is 0.035, so that's what R is. It's compounded monthly, so K equals 12. And the amount we will pay in total is the thing that we're looking for. And so to calculate out what this is, we first need to know what the monthly payment is. So we'll do 20,000 equals the monthly payment times 1 minus 1 plus our interest rate of 0.035 divided by 12 raised to a negative exponent of 6 times 12. And all of that is divided by 0.035 divided by 12. So to simplify this, I'm going to say 6 times 12 is 72. So negative 6 times 12 is going to be negative 72. And then 0.035 divided by 12 gives me this decimal here. So I'll write this as 0.0029166666, etc. And then I'm going to add that to 1 because that's also what this fraction would simplify to. So I'll add that to 1 and then raise this to an exponent of negative 72. So I'll type in 72, make it negative, and calculate that exponent. Then I need to do 1 minus this. So I'm going to make this number a negative and add 1. And that gives me this decimal, which is all of the stuff inside of these big parentheses. And then I'll divide by 0.02916666666. And that ends up giving me 64.85, etc. And so what I've found so far is that 20,000 equals D times this 64.85758 5, etc. number. And again, make sure you keep at least 6 decimal places if you don't keep it stored in your calculator. And to find D, I need to divide both sides by this 64 number. So I can do the reciprocal of 64, and that gives me this decimal. And if I multiply that by 20,000, whoops, not 200,000, then that would give me that my monthly payment is going to be $308.37. So that's what my monthly payment is. And my total amount that I would end up paying is going to be that monthly payment times the number of months. So since there are 12 months in a year and we're doing this loan for 6 years, I would take this number and multiply by 12 and multiply by 6. And that would end up giving me $22,202.49. And so this is the amount that I would end up paying to pay off my student loans. And it makes sense that that would be the case because I borrowed $20,000 and that extra $2,000 is going to be the interest that I end up paying. So I hope this video was helpful and I hope you guys have a good day.